Begin your practice by coming into a comfortable seated position and just taking a moment to check in with the physical body and with the breath, noticing how you feel, and doing your best to not let any areas of discomfort draw all of your attention. So check in with the whole body, all the way from the crown of the head down to the soles of the feet. Notice your natural breath. And when you're ready, begin to invite slower, fuller breaths, not forcing anything, just working towards a little bit deeper breath in the rib cage and up into the chest. And when you're ready, transition to your hands and knees, finding a nice solid foundation with wrists about under shoulders and knees about under hips, or as wide as they need to be to make space for baby and belly. And we're going to start with some pelvic warm-ups here, just to kind of check in and warm up. So start with just the tailbone pointing up as you inhale and tucking under as you exhale. So inhale, tailbone points up, belly sinks just a little. Exhale, tailbone tucks, hug baby and belly up. And do a few more like that, feeling the movement in the pelvic floor. Releasing a little as you inhale and engaging a little as you exhale. It just happens naturally. And then to get in a little bit deeper, when you're ready, start to draw circles with your tailbone. So you can feel kind of what's going on in the different parts of your pelvic floor, and also a little bit kind of in the sides of your hips and different parts of your back. Making sure to do a few circles going both directions. And now with your next inhale, point the tailbone up, reach the heart forward, look forward, and as you exhale, round and shift your hips back a little. So inhale, arching, reaching the chest forward, exhale, rounding, tucking, and shifting the hips back just a couple inches. Do a few more breaths like this, inhaling forward, exhaling back. And with this next exhale, stay here and do a little wriggle side to side in the hips and shoulders, getting into any other places in your back that need a little extra stretch or movement. Take a couple more breaths here, finding any movement that feels nice. From here, when you're ready, find a block and place that between your knees so that you can still feel pretty stable with the knees quite wide. So find the width that works for you and then place that between the thighs right above the knees. Tuck your toes under and plant your hands so you find a nice strong tabletop. Take an inhale here to prepare, and as you exhale, squeeze the block and lift the knees just a little bit. Inhale, lower down, lengthen, prepare. Exhale, squeeze and lift. A few more like this, and if it's too much, you can always just activate as if you're lifting your knees, not quite coming up off the ground, so that this is really controlled and the appropriate amount of effort for your body. Good. When you're done with that, take a little bit of movement, roll out the wrists, wiggle the hips, anything you like. And then we're going to take it a little further. So with the next exhale, come into downward facing dog. Inhale, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale at your hands and knees, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze the block, lift the hips. Inhale here, lengthening through the tailbone, and then exhale, squeeze and lower. And do that a couple more times, inhaling to prepare. Exhaling to squeeze and lift. Inhale, pause, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze and lower. Now remove your block and we'll transition to do some pelvic floor lifts. You're going to start in a high kneeling position with the knees quite wide and the feet close together. And you'll just kind of try it out, see the right placement for the knees. Hands can rest on your thighs or at your heart. And you'll inhale, and as you exhale, you'll lift your hips up as high as is comfortable. And after this first one, I realized that my knees were a little bit too wide for my body, so I scooted them in. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Now you want to try to stabilize through the hips here, but a lot of the work is just going to be done automatically with this movement. So try to make it nice and fluid, both hips lifting at the same rate and lowering at the same rate with your breath. And do a few more like that. Last one like this. And then from here, transition to a high kneeling position, knees right under the hips, and bring your hands to your low back like you're in your back pockets. You can tuck your toes if you like, and then point the elbows back. Hug baby and belly up, open across the chest, and gently lift up through the front of your body. So really gentle camel back bend here for a few slow breaths. When you're ready to transition, tuck the chin, gently come out, and then take your time going slowly all the way to the floor. So we'll set up here for some bridge movement. So heels about under knees, feet about hip distance apart, arms down by your side. And we'll start with some basic bridges. So inhale to lengthen, prepare, press down through your shoulders. And as you're ready, exhale, lift the hips up any amount. Inhale here, lengthen, exhale, lower down. Inhale, pause, prepare. Exhale, lift. Think about reaching the pubic bone through the knees. Inhale, pause, lengthening more, and then exhale, lower down. And then just one more like this, feeling the hips nice and neutral, moving evenly at the same rate. And then bring the feet close to each other so that they're touching, but then open the knees a little bit. So the feet are planted on the ground, knees are open, and same thing here. Inhale, prepare, and when you're ready, exhale, lift. And you probably won't lift as high. Inhale, pause, exhale, lower down. So nice controlled lifts with the knees opening, feet planted, moving on your exhales. Last one like this. And then take the feet wide, let the knees fall together. Pause, breathe, and rest. Now please bring the soles of the feet together with the knees open. So we're going to do the same thing, but taking it a little bit further. You won't lift as high here. So really press the soles of the feet together. Inhale, prepare, stabilize. And when you're ready, exhale, lift. Inhale, pause, exhale, lower. Really trying to keep the hip points lifting smoothly at the same rate. Just one more like this. And then once again, bring the knees together, the feet wide. Pause, breathe, and rest. Now transition so you can stretch one leg out long and draw the other knee in towards your body, holding onto your knee or your thigh wide enough to leave space for baby and belly. A few breaths here, trying to keep the pelvis nice and neutral, gently reaching out through that straight leg. And take your time slowly switching sides, stretching the opposite leg out. A few slow breaths, trying to keep the pelvis nice and neutral. From here, transition back to that neutral position, both knees bent, feet on the mat, and find a strap or some other kind of strong belt or something that you can place around your knees. We want to keep the knees about hip distance apart and bring that strap around. And you might need to sit up to do this if your belly is getting pretty big. And then also put a block between the knees so that you can press against the strap to draw your knees out and then squeeze the block to bring your knees in. So we'll alternate a few breaths stretching out against the strap and then a couple breaths squeezing the block in. And again, a couple breaths, press out. And a couple breaths squeezing in. And do that one more time. And release everything. Come back to neutral. And take a few more breaths to pause, rest. If you like, you can stretch your legs out long. Stay and rest here as long as is needed and comfortable for you. And when you're ready to transition, make sure you do so carefully and slowly, moving the legs at the same time, using your arms to help push you up. And once again, make your way to a comfortable seated position so you can finish your practice with a check-in and some breath.